Oh, wow. Whoa. It's been so long since I've seen you all. Last night for some of you, just over on the Crucible Extravaganza on Rumble exclusive on the Crucible channel there for some others. Of course, no one's watching right now. I got like 2 or 3 people. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rob, I thought you told us you were streaming at 8 o'clock. I lied. Yeah, shit came up. So I'm actually going to be doing some team project stuff here at 8 o'clock. So this is going to be a short stream. We're only going to go to 8 o'clock p.m. today, and then I'm going to immediately leave here. We'll find someone good to raid for you all, and I'm going to be doing some team stuff over at Team Crucible and some other stuff that I need to get done this fine evening for some projects I've been working on. So we're going to get that going. And it's going to make things better for my channel and for the Crucible and for conservatism and for right-wingers in general and for populists and for Christian nationalists and for libertarians and for everybody that just hates the disgusting, terrible left that we see dominating so much of our culture. You know, all that shit. Trust me, the work that I'm going to do tonight is instrumental in making inroads into all of that terrible shit that we're talking about here. So I hope you'll forgive me for being a little incorrect about the timing of my streaming this fine evening, but always a pleasure to do the extravaganza there. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, jobs report revision. I thought we'd talk about some of that today, and then probably only have time for that story and maybe one other, which is more fallout from this horrific bus attack that it's going to be pretty prevalent in our culture and news, hopefully for a long amount of time, because it's that important of a story. And I think that it's a cultural sort of fork in the road to see what direction the country goes. In many ways, by the way. So, we'll talk about those things. Now, what I need from you all, because I only have about an hour and a half for the show today, it's going to be very difficult to achieve our goal of oh boy, it's going to be real hard. Real hard. And you know what that means? You know who's licking their chops tonight? You're not going to believe this. But 2 days ago, this guy, Austin Hall, just 2 days ago said that raising $357 a day is highly unreasonable. You're unreasonable, sir. Now, he may win on a technicality tonight because I couldn't stream at my normal time. Then I couldn't stream at the time that I adjusted for. And so I had to have sort of an impromptu stream. It's not going to be 2 hours. And because it's not my normal time slot with my normal sort of show approach, it's going to be hard to grift. So it's going to be up to you, audience. It's going to be up to you. Will you be able to step up so that we can get $357 and we can keep this bastard Austin Hall? He does. He keeps getting away with it. Every 2 days ago. Every 2 days ago. It's truly tragic. Truly. So, oh man, but it is good to be here. If you missed the extravaganza show, you missed a good one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, I like joking around and stuff, but I enjoy the back end of the show more than the front end when I do it, which is where you talk more about the serious issues. Don't get me wrong, the joking around and stuff. A lot of it seems to be at the expense of heavy set people. The 3 groups that are really getting shit are women, which get the most shit, and then, like, fat people, which is me, and then, like, people of color that traditionally vote Democrat, whether it be Hispanics that are being raided by ICE or people in the inner city, etc. Those 3 groups, and I don't know if you notice this, but I'm at least one of those groups. So I get a big heap of shit put my way, but that's all right. I give it back as well as I get. It's perfectly fine. Not worried about Smokey Man and his little sidekick, Mr. E. They don't scare me much. Though, if you're listening, Andrew, please keep sending the paychecks. Thanks, bud. No, it's a good time. I really enjoy that show, particularly the back half of it. It's something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. So, here we are today. Where to begin? Charles V. Payne starts us off with this. Let me slide some tabs here. Just give me a moment. Okay, now we're good. Look at this. Korek, unbelievable. 100 begonias. I don't know, BGN. $60, Rob. Just want to support the show. Korek, thanks so much. And thank you for your kind words, too. I know, Cork, that I said I'd be on at 8 o'clock, but shit came up, so I'm going to be doing some other stuff at 8 o'clock. You know? Now, that's funny. I played nose guard when I was like 11. Then I switched to defensive tackle. I've lost a considerable amount of weight, though. I'm still going. I need to get better. So, what's up, Spiro? Also, I missed the fantastic, definitely wins the award for consistency. Naughty Germ, every stream comes in with $5, and he was first, as he is probably 80% of the time. Naughty Germ, always, always, always absolutely amazing to have your support. So thank you. One more time, I'll say it. We can only go until 8 p.m. Eastern time here tonight, or around abouts there. So it's going to be a quick show. We're going to move fast. We're not going to do a lot of grifting. We're going to do what I do best. Take a nap. Oh, I mean, one of the things I do okay, which is talk about political, cultural commentary. So let's dive in. All of you need to help get me to 357 without me constantly grifting, because I just won't have time. Charles Payne puts out the now revised, you probably heard about this, the revised numbers for the last 3 years of the Biden economy when it came to job growth. So here's what we have now. Everybody's talking about the numbers today, which I do believe was the biggest downward revision in history since they've been doing this, from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Remember, Trump just fired the woman here last month. And you see these revisions. For 2025, 911,000 jobs. That's the headline. But for 2024, 818,000. 2023, a paltry 300,000 and change. Now, I'm no mathematician, but that looks like over 2 million jobs that we were told during the fantastic Biden economy that were there. They were fake. I'm not going to have time to delve deep, really deep today, but I want you to think about that for a second. 2 million jobs that we were told. Now, everybody could see it. I saw someone put this post, right? Like, Virgin, but the data says people 0. Chad, anecdotal evidence, people 1. Isn't that the way it seems to be going? You mean the experts were wrong? No, obviously jobs are just one thing. But this fits into a bigger line of the gaslighting that we had during the Biden administration on everything, but certainly the economy was one of those things. Not the worst. We'll talk about the worst in a second. Over and over again. How many times did you hear me say, I don't understand Biden's team's messaging on this. You can't bullshit people about this stuff. People know if inflation's harming them when they go to the grocery store. People know if the data they're being told about how awesome the economy is full of shit. You know if you're a real person working in the economy. You might not know if you're exceedingly wealthy or if you're exceedingly poor, but if you're somewhere that's being affected by these trends, it doesn't matter how many times Jen Psaki comes out and tells you, or Karen Jean-Pierre tells you, no, it's all great. Doesn't matter. Now, how many of these jobs, the small amount now that were actually created, how many of those went to foreign-born people? Because we saw pretty much before the data was revised, almost all the job growth went to foreign-born people. Now we've lowered the amount of job growth. So ask yourself this. How many people lost a job during the pandemic that were native-born people in this country that never got a job back? How many of those, to this day, are still counted as unemployed? Or how many of them gave up and said, you know what? Because I don't know if you knew this, but the number you hear for unemployment percentage, that number is only people actively seeking jobs that can't get them. Once you take yourself out of the labor force and say, nope, I'm no longer looking, you don't count. Oh boy, we just solved the unemployment crisis. Sure, 30% of our workforce might not want to work, hypothetically, but none of them are looking for jobs, so there, 0% unemployment. Let's be clear here. This doesn't leave Trump off the hook. I criticize Trump and Republicans heavily for their response in 2020 to the pandemic. The lockdown, print a bunch of money strategy was horseshit. It's just the Democrats did it worse and wanted to do it even more. Both the lockdowns and the money printing. How many times did you hear me say it like beating a drum? Over and over and over and over and over. If you followed me way back in 2020, I pretty much have it memorized. It's similar to no one's above the law. The bar for starting an investigation's very low. I've this beaten in my head, though. This was actually something I was saying, not facetious to mock the other side. There are three things that could possibly damage us during this pandemic. Number one is the virus itself. I have no idea how many people it could kill. It could be a couple hundred, it could be millions. I don't know. But if we're honest, the truth is the United States will survive this. The second thing is the reaction to COVID and the effects negatively it'll have on us, whether it be through people's physical health, people's mental health, people's inaccessibility to medical facilities, or economic destruction, which will be severe. I predict that the outcomes from that will be far more severe than from the pandemic itself, and we'll be feeling the effects for more than a decade on, particularly with the economy. But, truth be told, we can eventually overcome this as a country. However, the third most impactful thing for the pandemic was if we are willing to allow the government, based on fear of some unknown, to completely strip us of our rights to the point where they're literally telling us that we must be locked inside, can't go to public parks, can't go visit family members in nursing homes, etc. All the while, the people telling us that selectively enforce it and allow people in their preferred groups to go ahead and violate those orders. Then that is an authoritarianism and a two-tiered system that exists in our country that may destroy our country in totality. How many times did I say it? Here we are with the economic degradation. What are we on now? 2025? Still rolling? Geez, it looks like we were probably in a recession under Joe Biden. Remember, too, when it used to be 2 quarters of negative growth was a recession until we had it under Biden and they were like, nah, dog, not now. Now it's different. Oh, Aaron M. I'm not Austin Hall. How dare you? You think 2 days ago I would have said something like that about myself? Please. So then we're gaslit during the entire Biden administration. Jobs are great. It's not a recession. Oh, man, job growth's through the roof. What are you counting as job growth? You locked us down and then told us we could go back to work and you claim that's a job growth? And it's amazing how this shit happens. Inflation numbers similar. I used to say this. If I was governor of Pennsylvania, if I won governor, day one, I would be like, okay, we're going to increase gas taxes by 3,000%. And so a gallon of gas is going to cost something like $40, right? And then the next day I would rescind it all. And then I would run on, no one's lowered gas prices more than me. It'll never be achieved in history again. I slashed gas prices. Prices tumbled 99%. How's it possible that one man could do this? Amazing. With Biden, right? Inflation was so high. We're looking at double digits year over year that eventually when it falls, because it's once you're already starting from that very high number, there's not much higher to go. So when it falls to like 2%, they're like, yes, we've defeated inflation. Laughable. The way they fudge this data is ridiculous. But remember, trust the experts. Don't you dare question them. How dare Trump fire this woman from the Bureau of Labor Statistics? How dare he? It's surreal. And of course, so does that mean that Jerome Powell at the Fed didn't know this data was fake? Boy, it doesn't sound like a good chairman, does he? Or he did? And decided that he was going to prematurely, just serendipitously to help Biden and Kamala during the election, lower rates to help them? And now that Trump's like, great, we need rates lowered, be like, no, dog, we expect your tariffs are going to cause inflation any day now. By the way, look at those job numbers. They're looking pretty good. Where I just debated that RTP guy talking about Biden's economy. It's bullshit. Why would I ever trust this? Why am I trusting Trump's data now? Why would I? Who's to say they don't revise Trump's numbers down another million jobs? I don't know. Why would I trust the mainstream media? Why would I trust the science experts that told me, yeah, we all have to lock down because this virus is so bad? But you know what's worse? Racism. Why would I trust the media or politicians or law enforcement that's saying that it's racial to mention that this guy that killed this girl on the bus, when he said, I got a white girl, and that's racist for me to listen to? Why would I trust them about anything? Why would I trust anyone in a system that covered up the fact that our president visibly was a human fucking vegetable? And they gaslit us and said, don't believe your eyes. No, he's the sharpest guy. Remember Mayor Pete? That was my favorite one. I mean, everybody could pick their own lie, but my personal favorite surrounding Biden's health was when Mayor Pete was like, I talk as Secretary of Transportation. I talked to a bunch of engineers building like railroads and all these genius engineers. And when we're in the room talking and Biden comes, we can't keep up with him. That damn Biden, he had the bad fortune of every time the cameras were on him, he was a blithering idiot. But as soon as the cameras are off, he's the smartest, sharpest man in the world. What bad luck, right? Wow, that sucks. There you go. That was Biden for you. How many times did I say that should be a seminal story? That cover-up of Biden's health. It's obvious. It's blatant. It's not like cover-up of insert your conspiracy. And I put conspiracy in quotes because half of them are fucking provably true at this point. But even the ones that are, it's sort of difficult for people to believe. You think they covered up the moon landing? You think they covered up that the Earth's flat? You think they covered up that the CIA took out JFK or RFK? You think they covered up 9/11 was an inside job? Insert your conspiracy. No matter how sure you are of those things, that's more difficult to prove than, hey, you see that guy right there? That's the president? You mean that old man drooling on himself that the Easter Bunny's leading around by the hand? Yeah. Yeah, that guy's like mentally infirmed. What? No way. Bullshit. You mean to tell me that guy that refuses to take press questions, that's giving the press questions ahead of time so that he knows what they will be? That guy? That guy's mentally infirmed? No way. If they could cover that shit up, all you needed was a set of eyeballs. That's all you needed. If they could cover that up, what do you think they're unwilling to try to cover up? You think they give a shit lying to you about job numbers? You think they care? Well, morally, we wouldn't do that. You think they're telling you the truth about crime numbers? They may be. Just because someone's proven to be a political liar doesn't mean that they're lying about everything. So maybe they are telling the truth, but why would I trust them? They lied about the economy. They lied about the origins of the pandemic. They lied about masks, working with it. They lie about foreign policy bullshit all the time. They lie about economic data and job data all the time. But I'm going to just implicitly trust them every time they throw a number out? And when I debate people like RTP, look at the economic data. It was great. It was wonderful under Joe Biden. Look at all the jobs created. Mm-hmm. Remember when I told you one of the first stories that came out when Trump was sworn in? Like within 2 days, the official Democrat X account was tweeting out about egg prices. You guys remember this? Seems like a lifetime ago, right? Let's go back in a time machine to January 22nd. Woo! You had the official Democrat account and Democrat politicians and pundits and streamers and posters. They were all talking about egg prices. Now, anyone with half a brain would be like, wait, what has Trump possibly done in 2 days to affect egg prices? Like, By the way, thank you once more, HN, who you guys think I'm Austin Hall. Who you really should think I am is HN. Here's a lefty that couldn't help but tripping all over his feet in every single thing he says to just make my point better for me. See, HN's like, yeah, okay. Right. Record revision here. Millions of jobs we were told created under Biden that were farcical. But at least Biden didn't fire the people making those huge mistakes. That would have been the real tragedy. That's it. That's the left in a nutshell right there, ladies and gentlemen. Someone fucking up their job so royally that any reasonable person that worked in the private sector anywhere that screwed up that bad would have to pack up their decks by lunch. And HN looks at that person and goes, well, the worst thing that could happen is them to get fired. That would be the real tragedy. Not fucking up the data reporting on the economy, which leads to decisions because of their fuck up that are completely the wrong direction that we should be doing with the economy, like the Fed deciding to raise or lower rates. There you have it. There it is. That'd be the real bad thing. That'd be terrible. Can you imagine? Trump promised to fix prices on day one. Oh, well then. Yeah, the last time I bought a car, I remember the dealer told me it was the best car I'd ever drive. But then you're not going to believe this. Like weeks later, my friend let me drive their brand new Jaguar, and I was like, this car seems better, before they went woke. Wow, what a fucking prick. Of course, it's a great car, and the dealer gave me a hell of a deal on it, but nonetheless, right? HN seems like a likable guy, but as dumb as you think they are, they're worse. And it's not just stupidity, it's bad faith. He's a sack of shit. He is. He's likable. He's a likable racist that wants you to fucking suffer in perpetuity. Why are you calling out people getting mad at Trump for lying about fixing prices on day one? He said day one, so everything should have been fixed day one. That's the end of it. Who gives a shit that we lied and claimed that we cared about the economy and we knew it was the policies of the guy we supported that led to increased egg prices? Who gives a shit about that? You can't be angry at us for saying Trump would fix things on day one and saying that it was all his fault. Meanwhile, when I'm debating these fuckheads like HN's heroes like RTP, he says all the good economic data we're seeing under Trump right now, you can't give Trump credit for that. You can't give Trump credit for that. But the bad things, you can't give Trump credit for. Good things, still Biden's economy. Bad things, Trump's economy. So, what could Trump have possibly done to affect egg prices so negatively? Nothing. Everybody knew it. So why were they out there touting those numbers? And then, predictably, I told people, I was like, it's a really dumb story because here's what's going to happen, right? Eventually, the egg prices are going to come down. And reasonable people are going to go, Trump didn't do anything to affect egg prices in 2 days. So if the high point's like in the first or second week of Trump's administration, and then inevitably the prices fall, even if it has nothing to do with Trump at all, everybody's going to say, well, you blame the high prices on Trump, and now that they've significantly lowered to where they were under Biden, that must be Trump too, right? And then people like HN will go, no, that's not Trump. That's not. That's different. But here's the important part. Fucking idiots like HN aside. The reason that they were making this argument, and by the way, I argued with people on X, and then they fessed up later when I'm like, where you at now? The egg prices went down. Where you at? And they were like, we're just fucking with you. We knew. Right. The real reason, this is what really was going on. Let me peel back the curtain a little for you, right? You want to know why Democrats were making this egg prices argument? You see, because the Democrats lied to you about how great the economy was for 4 years under Joe Biden. And again, I talked about this to potentially criminal Sean last night. We'll eventually, I had to put that video in private, but we'll eventually get that out there for you. Right? But we talked about this. It was like, I don't understand, and I said this over and over, I don't understand the Democrat messaging on the economy here. I don't understand it. When Biden was in office. Why don't you say, yeah, the economy's tight for people, we totally get it. It's because Trump fucked up. Instead, they were like, greatest economy ever. But it wasn't. And people were struggling. And people felt, no matter what the data was saying, that they were getting fucked. It didn't matter how many times you told them they were full of shit. They were like, no, I don't think so. Didn't matter. But that was the narrative. That was the Democrat narrative. That was the Biden administration narrative. That was it. Okay? Thanks. I see the super chats. I promise I'll get to them in 1 second. Top of the hour here. And then Democrats lose the election. The reason that Democrats were bringing up egg prices 2 days in, let me translate what they were saying. That's what they were telling you. Those of you that were upset with inflation and grocery prices for 4 years under Biden, and they gaslit you and told you it wasn't that bad, they're pissed off that you didn't vote for their guy or lady. And so they said, fuck you. Oh, what about egg prices now? Huh? That's what it was. Oh, you care so much about your precious grocery store prices? Huh? Well, now Trump's been in office for 2 days and eggs are higher. Well, I mean, wasn't it because Biden's administration, rightfully or wrongfully, called a bunch of chickens? Oh, you don't care about grocery prices now? That's what it was about. Hey, Chen, you have a chance to call in right now or you're banned from the channel. How would you like that? I've responded to your insane gibberish. You continue to spam the chat with it. So we'll generously offer you an opportunity to call in. Just give the affirmative. You call in and I'll embarrass you like it always happens. Or you'll be banned from the channel. Your pick. That's what was going on. How dare you vote against us for things like the economy? How dare you? Achilles, no. I'm not going to leave you ban him. Please. I'll take care of that. Bye-bye, Chen. Now we find out that they were lying about so much of the economic data. They don't give a shit. Their position is, how dare you not vote for us? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you plebes be concerned about the economy? How dare you plebes be concerned about the border? How dare you be concerned about crime? There we go. See, bastard John Smith. How dare you? So you surprised? You surprised that the same administration that lied to you about Biden's health and lied to you about the border being secure and lied to you about the Afghan withdrawal? You surprised they also lied to you about job growth? But Rob, this always happens. It always happens that they make revisions. Really? Like that? It's only 2.2 million jobs. No big deal, right? No big deal. Just so happened to benefit Biden. Just so happened to allow Powell to cut the rates to help Biden, thereby Kamala. Just so happened, right? Isn't it amazing how that stuff goes? Of course, the people that were saying, I'll admit, I was saying the economic data was bullshit, but I wasn't specifically saying I think these job numbers are bullshit. There were those saying it. There were. They were right. And those that were saying, how dare you? Oh, you're one of these trust the plan. You don't trust the experts. You do your own research. And it turns out they were right. Some other posts on this. Shipwreck Crew, who I like most of the time, says, would we have seen the correction of the jobs numbers of the Bureau of Labor Statistics today if Trump had not fired the prior director who was appointed by Biden? She was previously a member of Biden's Council on Economic Advisors. The largest preliminary benchmark jobs revision in history was 824,000 in 2009 during the global financial crisis. Till today. By the way, look at this graph. Until today, you know what the second highest one was? Oh, look at that. It was 2024 to benefit Biden as well. Wow. Amazing. How nice. Bloomberg today. Throughout 2024, payrolls were growing at less than half the pace needed to keep the unemployment rate stable. It's possible that the economy is still in recession. And what a boon for Jerome Powell. By cutting rates based on this faulty data, right? He gets to try to help the Democrats win the election. And then, if they don't, then he gets to hang the recession at the feet of Donald Trump once the numbers are revised. Great. Wow, Dongle Master. I'm sure as a Destiny fan, you've mastered some dongles. Says Destiny has over 1,000 people watching him, and Rob's got 100 people barely. No shit, Destiny's only got 1,000 watching? That's fucking pathetic for him. Last point on this before we read Super Chats.
The Federal Reserve is massively hurting the labor market. The Federal Reserve did not even read its own beige book, which in April 2025 was already warning about a weakening of the labor market. The latest figures in August show what an incredible damage they have made by keeping rates elevated, following a narrative that has not been logical in any sense. What did they do? First, they said that tariffs would generate massive levels of inflation. They actually said that they expected tariffs to generate an abrupt increase in aggregate prices. However, what happened was the opposite. And in the latest figures of July, both PPI, CPI, and the PCE index, all of them show that the monthly inflation figures are not showing any type of impact from tariffs. In fact, the PPI rose only because of the stock market and portfolio management levels. So the Fed has actually damaged the labor market massively. The Minneapolis Federal Reserve published a report years ago in which they showed how maintaining rates 100 basis points above the neutral level would destroy between 0.5 to 1.5% of SME, small and medium enterprise jobs in a year. So this is exactly what is happening. And this is exactly what shows why the Federal Reserve should not be managing interest rates. The Federal Reserve is manipulating interest rates and money supply and generated a massive level of inflation in 2021, ignoring monetary aggregates, and is generating a massive damage on the employment in August. And what we have seen, at least, has some positive elements. 22,000 jobs created, despite the fact that government jobs are down by 15,000, which is a good thing. 97,000 government jobs less. If the Fed was Keeping rates at a neutral level, i.e. lowering rates, the jobs figure would be phenomenal. That is what's important. Thank you.
In other words, what he said there is the Fed is political, that by keeping rates up, what it's doing is crushing job creation. And the metrics they were using to decide this were, one, the alleged job growth that ended up being bullshit, and second, the idea that tariffs were going to cause imminent massive inflation, which hadn't happened. And yet they still use that excuse. Now, everybody knows Jerome Powell hates Trump. Everybody knows it's political. Boring. The economic shit seems boring, but it's actually some of the most important stuff. Super chats. James, $10 says the shutdowns in 2020 gave really bad people some really good info on what they could get away with. That's exactly the way to put it. It was a test run for how neighbors will turn on neighbors and authoritarianism will be allowed to creep in and be celebrated. Lost Avarice, great to hear from you. $20 says open chat up, drop the link. Word for a large person. Insert man born without a father word here. I believe he went with fat bastard. What's up, Avarice? I'm sorry, Avarice. I got shit to do at 8 o'clock, so I don't have time to open it up for a call-in today. Tomorrow we'll try. Hellbat, $5 says we need to put in a check and balance on the Federal Reserve. It was never intended that a non-public institution would have this much power. The Federal Reserve is a private bank. It's anathema to what the founders said and what the Constitution says, that the power to print and coin money should reside solely with the federal government. And now we borrow it all from a private bank that gets to set rates, that gets to print money, etc. Blasterbot, unbelievable, $50 says one wheel spin, please. Just told rub it in to trust the experts crowd faces. All right, I'll get it in 1 second. James S., $10 says I don't really trust Trump on Trump v. Powell either. He's too focused on the equity markets, too interested on pumping the stock market and other asset prices. Of course, Trump's got an agenda as well. Of course. But the truth is, the people that are running the Fed, that are supposedly dispassionate, just looking at the data, they too have an agenda. All right, Blasterbot, request a whip wheel play. Say that 10 times fast. Now, we added a bunch of songs last night, so don't get shocked when you see how many we have here. Holy shit! Here we go. Oh, snap. What's it going to be? Oh, rap it is. One of the older ones. All right, here we go. One rap whip song coming up. Let's find it.
There's a whip. There's a whip. There's a whip. Where there's a whip? There's a whip. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the land says, nay, 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 nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, left, 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 left. There's a whip, left, 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 left. A crack on the back, say, gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and
scientist, or he wishes he could come up with shit like that. A couple more super chats and we'll move on. Draco, $10. Thank you so much, says Rob. Stop yelling at your chat. Being preemptive. I can't help it. By the way, Crybaby HN, I did bring back. I don't know how to time out people on my dashboard. I can only ban them. Or maybe I could time out. I don't know. Let me check real quick. Let's try to time out. I can. Well, how about that? I never noticed that. Anyways, James S., $5 says, and by the way, end the Fed. Sorry, the ZERP boys, 0 interest rate. Don't like that phrase. I can imagine. And Crisco, $10 says, data's never wrong. Just reevaluated for accuracy. It's still accurate, just not precise. Pisco probably. Guaranteed the slimy POSs will say that. I debated that guy, who was it? Heem? And I remember when we were talking about a bunch of the shit that the experts got wrong with the pandemic. He said, even when the scientists are wrong, they're right. Because they're using the best available data at any given point. Which means if the scientists say the Earth's flat, they're right. And you saying, no, here's evidence that I don't think it's flat, you're wrong. And then when the next day they say, okay, never mind, it's not flat, then they're right. They're right when they said it was flat, and they're right when they said it wasn't. Well, HN, there's an answer to that as well. What do you think? What do you think an answer to that could be, HN? But you go ahead. You keep playing with fire. Why is Russia sending drones to Poland right now? Is Putin afraid of Trump? I didn't know that was something that was occurring. Now, I remind people, I'm only going until 8 p.m. tonight because I actually have stuff to do this fine evening. All sorts of fun stuff that I got coming up here. So, make sure we hit that goal, $357, before we get to the end of this hour, at which point I will have to leave. Bus story. That's what we're dealing with. Now, come on, HN. Be fair. Be fair. You said yesterday you didn't understand why people were focused on this story. Right? That's what you said. And after all, you were for that evil white man getting beat near to death in a wrestling ring the other week there. So, come on. Don't give us this now, HN. Come on. Say it with your chest, man. Say it with your chest. Don't bullshit us. We know. We know how you really feel. We know. There you go. There you go. Yeah. That's better. There you go. Imagine the horror that went through that woman's eyes right before she died. She wouldn't even know what happened. This person, Veronica, I don't know, they sum it up. So let me get this straight. In 2020, a black man dies under a cop's knee. Racial motives unconfirmed. Media explodes. Riots nationwide. Cities burn. A few days ago, a young white girl was killed. The killer mumbles, "Got the white girl." And we get mainstream media silence, no headlines, no outrage, just Twitter anons discussing it. What kind of sinister double standard is this? What's happening? Well, allow me to illuminate what's happening. You see, there's a bunch of people, our friend HN in chat here, that hate white people. Right? It's not just white people, though. They view the world through this lens of cultural Marxism. They're oppressors and oppressed. And white people are the oppressors. That's the way it is. And so they have this coming. That's the truth. And so the media, when it fits their narrative to push division and to push this narrative that's so impactful to ensuring that the establishment maintains power, then they'll hype up bullshit. The truth's irrelevant. Remember when we talked about, their attempts to censor disinformation? And there are three types of disinformation. There's misinformation that they want censored, which is information that's not accurate. Then there's disinformation, which is information that's incorrect and is a lie. So the person spreading it knows that it's a lie. And then there's malinformation. Now, this is the most nefarious one. Malinformation is information that's true, but that's inconvenient for the official story. So an example of malinformation might be saying a totally true statement such as, there are side effects to vaccines. It's true, but the government wanted you to rush out and take a vaccine. So they're like, even though that's a true statement, we think that people will make decisions that we don't want based on that true information. So let's censor that true information. You see, the truth of the situation never mattered to these people. The narrative, controlling the narrative, that's what matters. Pushing out the story that confirms to the agenda of the people that are in positions of power. That's what matters. So what's going on? Why does the media take bullshit stories like hands up, don't shoot and repeat them over and over again, even after they're debunked? Even when they see that riots are occurring? Even when there's no evidence of racial motivation whatsoever? Same with George Floyd. And yet they push these racial narratives. And then when we actually have, I'm not going to show you the video for TOS reasons. You can look it up yourself. Go ahead. And you can hear him mutter, I got a white girl. Now, the media's response to that is, how dare you notice? How dare you? And it's been almost, after days of silence, the media finally forced to cover the story. And predictably, it's Republicans pounce. Republicans pounce. Oh my God, people are making this racial. They're making it racial. Can you believe it? No. Saying ain't so. Really? Terrific.
We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just pure race mongering, hate mongering.
Hear him there? Listen to what he says. Got a white girl. What was that again, Van Jones?
We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just pure race mongering, hate mongering.
Want to be there.
Yeah, and it's
It's
super
about
difficult
forcing them
because
to be there.
when you are mentally ill, you have a hard time knowing that you are mentally ill. But also, I mean, people like Charlie Kirk, Van, they've been looking for opportunities to make this some sort of like reciprocal George Floyd situation. And that's the part that I think he's almost giving away the game. And it's sad to see a lot of people going.
What game? What was the game with George Floyd? Please enlighten us, Abby Phillips. What was the game? I'm sorry? What was that again? What was the game with George Floyd? Oh, you mean the racial narrative that sprung up? The fact that Democrats thought thousands of unarmed black men were killed by law enforcement per year when the real number is like 12? The fact there was no evidence of racial bias whatsoever in that, and yet that became the prolific narrative? That game? That was used as a flashpoint to excuse certain populations of people violating the lockdown standards that you people wanted to enforce on us? That you then told us was mostly peaceful and gaslit us about that? That game? You don't want the right to play that way game. I agree. They don't want the right to play that game. Boy, if the right rioted like that, you think for a second Abby Phillips and CNN would be like, mostly peaceful? You think? Do you think we'd hear people say, well, it's just property. It's just destroying property. No big deal.
Along with it.
Let me just say a couple of things. One is, what happened to that young woman was horrible. And it's everybody's nightmare. If you're in any public space, subway, whatever, that something bad's going to happen to you or somebody you care about. So it does strike a chord. We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just pure race mongering, hate mongering. It's wrong. Then he says that if something like that had happened the other way, there'd be sweeping changes imposed on society. Where is the George Floyd Policing Act? It didn't pass. Even when you had a white police officer murder a black man.
Huh, that's weird. Immediately when he said there's no proof that this attack was racial, he goes on to imply that it was racial when George Floyd was killed.
On live television, the whole world saw there were no sweeping changes. In fact, not one law was passed at the federal level. So,
not the federal level. We had plenty of defund the police movements by Democrats that occurred all over the place, though. And certainly culturally, there was a huge shift. I mean, we had to allow people at the time where we were locked down to do what they wanted with impunity. Almost none of them facing significant consequences. Even though dozens of people were killed, billions of dollars of damage, riots over and over again.
I think that's an important thing to point out. The other thing is, you mentioned the thing about cashless bail. I think this is a big challenge that we have. Would you have felt better if there had been cash bail and the mom had come and put down $1,000 to let him out? It's not about cashless bail or no cashless bail. It's about the fact that we don't know how to deal with people who are hurting in the way this man was hurting. Hurt people hurt people. What happened was horrible, but it becomes an opportunity for people to jump on bandwagons. And then for someone like Charlie Kirk, he should be ashamed of himself. No one mentioned the word race, white, black, or anything except him.
Right. We get it, Vin. You're right. We know you didn't. Just like HN wouldn't, just like the rest of these people would. Of course. When it's black man doing something bad, which, by the way, I remind you, is 30 times more likely for a black person to commit an act of violence against a white person and vice versa, well, then forget about it. Race doesn't matter. But if it's the inverse, oh boy, they sure are mentioning race then, aren't they? Yeah, HN, you can call in, sure. Only HN. No other callers today. Okay. All right. What's up, HN? What do you got for us?
And so, how are you so sure that that guy targeted that girl because of her skin color? And why are you so focused?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, HN. What were you saying? Go ahead. For those that don't know, this is the white guy that got what he deserved, HN says. Go ahead. I'm sorry, HN. Go for it. You were saying?
No, I never
We'll
said
put
he
this
got
on
me.
loop for you. We'll put it on loop. Go ahead, please. Tell us what you were saying. Go for it. Sorry, I missed it. Go for it.
I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to clear this up.
Sure,
I
go
never
ahead. Go
said
ahead.
he
Clear it
got-
up. You said that the white guy was equally at fault than the black guy here. Go ahead.
I never said they were equally at fault. I said they both have.
Yeah. So tell
some
us,
fault.
tell us right here. Tell us how this guy, he's at fault. He has this coming. Go ahead. Explain that.
So he started it by hitting Raja first
Uh-huh.
with the
In a fake wrestling move because he thought he was a wrestler, and then went up and apologized, and Raja accepted his apology, and they decided they would have a worked angle because this is professional wrestling where they're not really trying to hit each other. And then this guy gets beat nearly to death, and you said, well, he was at fault too. That go ahead.
Yeah, so the promoter went up to Raja afterwards, and he said, "Hey, you can get him back."
Okay, and so your
Raja's-
argument is that black men are so stupid that they think that means they're allowed to commit attempted murder because someone said you could get him back in a wrestling ring? That's your argument? Now, I just have a question. If a white person took that, would you also think that they're so intellectually deficient? Would you think that about white people as well? I'm just curious. Or is it just black men that you think are that stupid?
No, so people's skin color does not factor.
Okay,
into-
but for some reason you assume Raja's that stupid. I just want to be clear. HN, do you know that professional wrestling has preordained outcomes? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you know
I did.
that the vast overwhelming majority of the time they're not actually like punching each other, trying to knock each other out and shit? Did you know that?
Yeah, but how do you know Raja
Okay,
knew
so
that?
I just want to be
Raja's
curious.
not a
And
pro
so I
wrestler.
just want to know. So if a wrestling promoter said, "Hey, HN, we want you to go in there and you could get that guy back right there," would you try to beat them to death?
No, but I would
Is that
probably
because
hit him
you're
for real
white? Is that
because-
as a white man, you're intelligent enough not to know that, but Raja's black, so he didn't know? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay,
I'm
so
saying-
can you explain to me why you think this guy's so fucking stupid that he thinks a wrestling promoter saying we'll let you get him back in the ring means that you could commit attempted murder? What is it about Raja? You seem to know a lot about him. So what is it about him that you think that he's so intellectually devoid that that's somehow any kind of excuse?
So I don't think he's intellectually devoid. I think what happened was Raja. First off, he had a concussion from training earlier.
Good,
that
good.
week.
Yes, excuse the black man's that. The black
No,
man was training,
right?
so when he commits attempted murder, we have to. Of course, perhaps this guy muttered the N-word too, right, while he's being pummeled to death.
Okay, you done?
Please keep going. The bigotry of low expectations, doing fantastic. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So he had a concussion earlier. So maybe he's not thinking fully right, but also
He's not fully right. That's your argument. Oh, please
said
tell me how
he-
this was only partially right. Go ahead.
I said he's probably not thinking fully right.
Oh, okay. So
But-
he was only thinking partially correctly. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And what part of that? What part of that is here? Let's
Alright,
look at this
so-
blow coming here. What part of partially right was that blow
professional
right
wrestler,
Mhm.
he actually hit him with the can. It wasn't
Right.
a fake hit.
there? It was
a
a
real
worked.
hit.
It was a worked hit, right? Did it cause any injuries?
Maybe. Do you know it didn't?
We haven't heard from Raja. It did. It seems that would be an excuse that
I
happened.
mean, he's getting like harassed off the internet. Of course, he's not
Oh
going to
well,
come up
of
and make a
course,
statement.
of course, right. Well, he gave several statements afterwards in the immediacy.
Did he?
Before he, yeah, you didn't see the footage. You were watching my stream, or were you too busy making excuses for the black man attempting to kill the white
Okay,
man
no, I thought
that you
were
weren't
talking
paying
about, like, the next
attention?
day. Okay.
Oh, so then you are aware that he made statements immediately after and didn't say, "Yeah, it was because I was injured." He didn't say any of that. He said he was
Yeah, no-
disrespected. That's what he said. He's
Yeah,
tired of this
so-
disrespect.
He thought that guy was like punking him at first, so he wanted to get him back for
And so
punking
when
him.
when the dude went up and said, "I'm so sorry, I thought you were part of the angle," shook hands, and they said, "Yep, it's cool. You'll be part of the angle going in." At that point, he still thought he was being punked.
Yeah, he probably still did feel that a little bit.
So okay.
Um,
So
but
I just
that-
want to be clear. Now, right
that's
here,
irrelevant
right
because
now,
the
now,
promoter-
can you tell
the
me how many
promoter-
of can you tell me how many of the punches this guy deserved? Right. So there was a perceived disrespect here. So let's wait until it loops again. Everybody, watch here. HN's going to tell us. He'll tell us the exact point that the blows were justified here of the unconscious man. Here we go. Was it that one? Was that one
I think
justified?
the slam was maybe justified, but
The
none of
slam
punches.
was. So just to be clear, if he intentionally slammed him to knock him down, you think that was justified?
Unless he was intentionally like trying to injure him, no. But the way the slam worked out at first, like that was probably justified. But I don't think any of the real punches.
What do you mean
is-
justified? You mean someone doing their job? That'd be like, would you say the same if like, Tom Cruise is acting in Mission Impossible and he accidentally, when he's throwing blows, accidentally hit someone, you'd say, I think that's justified? Or would you say, oh, it was a mistake? Just curious.
You keep doing this, right? But you just.
What do you mean?
totally
What am I
ignore-
doing? It's a work. right? They're throwing pretend punches. When you say the slam that knocked this dude out was justified, what the fuck are you trying to say? Are you
Okay,
saying
hold on. So you acknowledged before that the pro wrestler actually hit him with the beer can, right?
yes, it was a worked shot? So it'd be like if someone went like this to me. See, it didn't hurt.
No,
It sounded loud. It
You were
sounded
blocking
loud.
it with your hand.
No, I wasn't. I put my hand there and hit it to make it sound.
Okay,
That's how
but-
wrestlers throw punches. He opened the can and hit it to make a loud noise, but it wasn't like a full can. That because the effect is that the beer sprays up. If he was really trying to hurt him, he would have hit him with a closed can. That would have hurt more, but he didn't do that. That's how wrestlers would hit each other with something like that. It wasn't an intended
So-
blow to take on his opponent. It was a wrestler thinking he was working.
So maybe that's right, but still, I don't think any of the punches are justified. Just make
Just
that
the
point
slam
clear.
let's get back to, you say the slam is justified. So if Tom Cruise is throwing a punch and it in a movie and it hits someone and knocks their teeth out, is that punch justified?
So if they're trying to make it look real in the movie, then yeah, maybe yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
What do you
how
mean?
movies
You
work.
would use the word justified? That's what you would say? I don't think that's a word anyone would use in that sense. Justified implies that the outcome that came from that was warranted. It doesn't imply, oh, a mistake was made. That sucks. Yes, in the sense that Raja was doing wrestling moves and they had a mutual agreement for Raja to do wrestling moves. Of course, I don't think justified is the word you'd use any more than you would say, I'm
agreement.
justified in
They
when
did
I
have a
mow the
mutual
grass.
agreement.
I'm justified to mow the grass. No, not if it's my job. You don't say it was justified. If it was an accident and this person got their head smashed, right, you wouldn't say it's justified. You would say that's a tragic accident. When I watched this, I said, listen, I don't know if this is just a person that was intentionally slamming him on his head, or if it's someone who's green that's not a professional wrestler and he attempted to move, then unfortunately, that's what happens. If you're not a trained professional, bad things can happen. But I'm not blaming him for that without knowing it. That's what I said. But you use the specific
hold
word
on.
you use the specific word justified, which I don't think anyone would use other than to imply that that brutal hit was warranted because of the actions that this man. Justified implies that it had something to do with the actions that that other guy took.
Just real quick, okay? So do you acknowledge that in professional wrestling, a lot of the slams are real? Do you
They're
acknowledge
not
that?
intended to be. There are accidents sometimes, but the slams are intended to be delivered in a safest way as possible.
I'm not sure. I don't know about that. All I know is that
You think
there's a
they're
lot of
intentionally
slams that
hurting
are-
people?
Some of them, well, yeah, I believe so.
No. And if they do, then that's terrible. They're shamed out of the industry. Or the ones that do it are considered huge fucking pricks. And that's called a shoot when they go into business for themselves and they turn it into a real fight.
Okay, well,
That's frowned upon heavily. You don't know. I know you don't know. Now let's get back to the term justified. We acknowledge that by saying justified, it implies that it had something to do with the warrants that the other person engaged with.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I used the word justified because you asked me if it was justified.
Correct. Like the blows, and that's what I meant by it. Do you think that the outcome that these blows or the blows themselves being delivered in this manner are warranted because of the actions that the other person took? You said the slam was, which
Yeah.
resulted in him being unconscious.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if he intentionally made his head hit the mat whenever he slammed him.
If
Like,
he
was just-
slammed him with the intent to hurt him whatsoever, was that justified?
So from my understanding of how professional wrestling works, yes.
All right, now go ahead. Now go ahead and tell us. Now that we see the caliber of person you are, right? I'll translate for the audience. Whitey's getting hit, and low IQ black guy can't control himself, so we have to make excuses. Now
Skin
go
color
on.
out of
Now
your
go
head.
on.
Why
Now-
does everything always need to be broken down into skin color?
When we first
That's totally
discussed this, did you say something about the white wrestler? Was that your first commentary?
Yeah, but
Wait,
I was just doing.
Oh, now wait a minute.
description.
Why did it have to be skin color then? Why
Oh
did
my
you
God.
start interjecting skin color into it?
Because I'm pretty sure I brought that up because you were talking about Raja's skin color first.
No,
Just to
I
make
don't
that
think
point.
so. I
Yeah,
think you
I'm pretty sure
specifically
that's
said.
what happened.
I think you specifically said, right?
No, I
that
think you-
why
I
don't
think
we
you
blame
were
the white
specifically
guy as
saying,
well?
Oh, another black guy attacking a white guy. Well,
Is that what
and
I
then
said?
that's
You want
why
to
I
go? I'll
brought
tell you
up-
what. I'll make you a deal. If we go back and that's what happened, I go back and look at the video, I'll apologize to you. If not, you're banned forever. How's that sound?
Okay, no, well, I don't want to make that deal because I don't remember. But
So
I
then
think that's
wait,
what
then why
happened.
did you bring up white? If you're not quite sure, why do you think you brought it up? Do you think
I'm
there's a
pretty
chance you
sure
would have
that-
brought up the race of the wrestler even if I hadn't brought up the race previous?
If I did do that, then that was a really big mistake on my
It was
part.
a big mistake. Do you think maybe it's because of unconscious bias?
Maybe unconscious bias, not
Okay,
like a conscious
now let's go to the white woman who is stabbed by the black man in the throat. Mister bringing up the race of the white wrestler. Now, what's your point on this? I suppose the first stab was justified with her. Is that it?
No, with this one also, I'm just wondering why skin color matters at all. Like, do you think that the black guy, if let's say there was a black woman alone sitting in front of him, do you think he would not have stabbed her as well?
There were plenty of other black people in the seats, including black women. Did
Not
he choose?
sitting right in front, not sitting in the perfect position.
Did she sit in front of him or did he sit behind her?
She sat in front of him.
Okay, so your argument is, had it been a black woman, he would have did it, so no harm, no foul.
No, not no harm, no foul. Just that means skin color does not play any role whatsoever in the story.
Well, I suppose we could say that. Do you think that Derek Chauvin would have put his knees on a white man doing the same thing as George Floyd?
yes.
Okay, so then you were against all of the racialism that went around the George Floyd riots.
Well, those riots, they weren't really 100% about racialism. There was a lot about police brutality as well.
Majoritarily, it was about black people and their treatment by the police.
Yeah, which is something I don't agree with. I think that
Can you show me one social media post on any platform where you ever made where you condemned and said, what are these people doing making this about race? In fact, they're calling it Black Lives Matter. That's outrageous. Can you show me anywhere where you said that?
I mean, all I have is YouTube. I don't really have any other.
So
social
you're
media.
telling me, were you watching streamers at that time?
Yeah, I was a fan of Destiny back then.
Did you
That's how
ever
I
say
found
in
out about
Destiny's
you.
chat? Did you ever say in Destiny's chat that you thought it was bullshit that people were bringing up race?
Yeah, I agreed with Destiny.
I don't believe you.
No, honestly, I was originally from Destiny's community.
So you're telling me that Destiny was saying the whole time, yeah, this is bullshit. This is nothing about race.
Not 100% like that, but he was saying how like it's way overblown how the police people think that the police commit way more brutality than they actually do.
Great. And
And
is
a
that
lot of
him
the
saying that
racist
race
stuff was
isn't a
stupid.
factor? In fact, I remember debating Destiny days into the George Floyd riots and him saying things like violence is the language of the unheard. Rioting's the other side of the coin to voting. I recall that vividly. I recall him talking about the anger that the black community had. I don't recall him saying, what the fuck are they doing? I said, how long should we allow the rioting?
wait.
He said, after like 3 days when I'm talking to him, he said, well, now's about enough. So that implied for at least 3 days he was okay with the racial angle and the rioting.
Okay, well, I also remember hearing him say he wishes that people mowed down a lot of those BLM protesters.
Great. So you decided to be a fan of a psychopath, and?
Well, no, I'm just saying that he was not like on the side of the people that were trying to like racialize
That's not true.
everything.
He initially was. He didn't say, I'm against it because they've made it racial. He didn't say that.
Okay, well, I'm not a fan of people making everything racial.
So I just want to be clear. You're saying that you were outraged that Black Lives Matter was picking up the trumpet and pushing all of these protests around. You're like, what the fuck, Black Lives Matter? What does this have to do with anything? What are you talking about? Derek Chauvin would have killed a white man in the same way. That was your take. That's what you want us to believe.
Well, no. So, I mean, with the protest, I was kind of against them, but I also understood the video of George Floyd getting like kneed on to death was like so heinous that in a way, I kind of understood why people were.
Do you think do you think because of how heinous it was a story that should have been covered nationally?
Yes.
But not this woman that got stabbed in the throat. That wasn't heinous enough for you? That's what you said. You don't understand why it's a national story. But you just got done telling us that the image of George Floyd having his neck kneeled on was so heinous that it justified it being a national story. So explain why this woman being stabbed. Would you like me to bring up a picture? Would that help? Let's bring up a picture for you. So just so you know, George Floyd was heinous enough. Just so you know, that's where your position is. But this action, this wasn't.
So,
Just so we can clear it up. This isn't. Yeah, shut up, lady. This isn't that heinous. Go ahead, explain.
This photo it's really disturbing. And
Wait, but
I
it's
feel
not
really
heinous
bad.
enough to be a national story, right?
Well, I think if we want to make this a national story, then it's really unfair to the hundreds of other people that got killed
Did
to
you say
not
that
make this
about George
national.
Floyd?
Well, George Floyd, that was like a whole different thing because that was a police officer doing it.
Because it had confirmed to sort of your political ideology.
It was being live streamed. I mean, there's just
This
a whole bunch of
this
different things about that story that
you
made
could
it.
we know no two apples are ever the same. You told us the reason that it needed to be a national story was because of the heinousness of it.
Okay.
Not here though.
Well,
The heinousness doesn't apply.
hold
No
on.
national story needed, right? Go ahead.
Rob, if somebody on this train had a live stream going that showed this person getting stabbed to death, then this 100% would be a national story.
The live stream
Right.
has nothing to do with it. Nothing.
It has
nothing
everything to
whatsoever.
do with it.
Okay, how many people were watching the live stream as it unfolded of George Floyd?
All it takes is like starts off as a few hundred people and then it blows up. And
So
then it
just
gets
to be
bigger and
clear,
bigger.
had it not been live streamed, it been recorded and then uploaded 20 minutes after the fact, you'd say, I don't understand what the big fuss about George Floyd is. That's what you would have said. It was the
because of
live
other-
stream. It was the couple hundreds of people in your estimation that were watching it live. That's why it's a big story. If you would have uploaded it 5 minutes afterwards, you understand the stupidity of your position? And
No,
this
no,
is
no,
what's
no,
so frustrating.
Can I finish
You
saying
can
what
go,
I'm saying?
please, HN, please. Go ahead and
Okay, so whenever it's live,
tell us why Whitey had it coming. Go ahead.
whenever it's live streamed, you get to see the person, the victim, going from alive to all the different stages until death.
That's what
But
we see.
with this one, you don't get to see any of that. All you
Now
see
we
is
do. Now we do. The video's out there.
oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
Now
that,
it was
but-
tried to be covered up by the people you support, of course, because they're interested in promulgating a narrative that's black man being killed and that's somehow racism, but they want to cover up black man killing white chick because that doesn't really fit their narrative. You know, similar to how, you know, if a trans shooter writes a manifesto and then shoots up a bunch of Christian kids at a school, we're told we can't see that manifesto. We get it. Control of the narrative when its
why did
story
it
is
take
inconvenient to you.
Why did it take so long for the Minneapolis Police Department to release the George Floyd video then?
What's it matter? It was live streamed. It was already everywhere. Why would they need to
Yeah, but
release
that's
anything?
kind of my point. That's kind of my point.
Why would they need to release anything?
Because you were saying like, oh, if it was a white person doing it to a black person, then they would instantly release the video. But in this scenario with the Ukrainian lady, they're trying to hide it from everybody. Which
Yes, the mayor,
doesn't seem like
etc.
it's true because this
Yes,
video
the
came
mayor-
out. The full
that-
video came out way faster than the George.
The mayor and everyone was saying, they were specifically saying that they didn't want people sharing this on social media. Was that being said about the George Floyd shit? Curious.
No, there
Oh,
wasn't. But
interesting.
honestly, this one, I think this, if you're right and this whole video is out there where like this woman gets stabbed, I think that would be like extremely disturbing because whenever it's a woman, it's like it's a little different. Like people don't want to see that, right?
Yeah, but it's a white woman, so you know, right?
Which I
Come
think
on,
would
just
make
tell
it
us.
worse.
That's what the worst part of this, agent. Just say it with your fucking chest. Just say it. Whitey had it coming. Go ahead, just say it.
No, honestly,
That's what you
Rob,
mean.
I'm
Yeah,
not
just
joking.
say it. Just say it. All right. Hey, aren't you happy you called in?
Yeah,
It's been a good call,
I
right?
just wanted to get this
Hey,
out. That
go ahead. You get it out there. Final word on how this white lady had it coming. Go ahead. Shouldn't be a national story. HN's going to tell you why. Go for it.
yeah, I just think that like her skin color does not matter to me whatsoever, and I hope you guys believe me whenever I say that. But it would just be really, really disturbing to see this video.
Thanks,
and that's
HN.
why.
We always appreciate your racist takes. So there you go. This isn't disturbing enough. That right? Aren't you glad you called in, HN? Some more super chats, real quick. I remind you, I got to leave in 20 minutes here. Crucible Crusader, 1, 2, 3 membership donations. Thank you so much. The chat of the week, Zachary Kelpie, $20 says HN calling us racist, but sees no problem with minorities targeting white people. No rass tax there. No whip. Thank you. Yeah, well, everybody sees it but him. Crucible Crusader, $2 says racist and here starts with H and ends with N. Blasterbot, $50 says one whip bill because people like HN are creating a terrible backlash that I pray isn't going too far. It'll be the backlashers' fault, though. Kokomo, $10. What they are missing, no matter the race, it was still a heinous crime. Of course, but it shouldn't be a national story. Only Mr. Bill $2 says footage hid for 2 weeks. What if the races were reversed? Blast about $10 says listening to people like HN is unironically radicalizing. It makes me realize that the left has prejudice against a group and will contort reality to fit their narrative. They don't seek to reconcile. C. Memper, 5 months, says it's not the color of the person, but the pattern recognition. I owe a whip wheel. I'll get to it in 1 second. Some data suggests that more black people have killed or sexually assaulted more white people in Chicago and more Latinos in LA that were ever lynched in the entirety of the South between 1880 and 1970. Mind your own business on a train and get stabbed to death. Step in to defend others. Face 15 years in prison for manslaughter. Fuck these people. Fuck them. All right. Sucks to end on a negative note. So even though with the story so fucking heinous, it's tough to move on from. All right, I owe a whip wheel song, so let's do that. We're trying to get to 357. I gotta be out of here at 8 p.m., so we only got 8 minutes left. I implore you, don't leave Austin Hall win. I hear HN's a fan. All right. I got you, John Smith. Oh, what do we got here? It's gonna be... okay. The Electro Whip song. All right. Here you go.
Says nay, 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 we're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where's a whip?
These get weirder every time.
Whip right, left, right, left. There's a whip. Whip right, left, right, left. There's a whip. Whip right, left, right, left. Where's a whip? Left, right, left, left, right, left. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Whip, 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 whip.
Hey, there you have it. The Great Gatsby Group. Yeah, I don't know about Electro. John Smith, $5 says, you don't donate per week and suddenly Rob forgets your name. Huh? And then, what's his name? John Dingleberry, $5 says, can't donate as much because the price of mayo doubled the last month. Thanks, Obama. Way to fight the white man. Terrible, terrible. You Dean, where's the fun in that? All right. From Humbly, $2 says $2 keeps us in Allway. We're almost there. We're 80% of the way to our goal. We can do it. Not heinous. So I have a company meeting. We got a Crucible meeting coming up here at 8:00. And then I got some projects that I'm going to be working on this evening. I can't guarantee what time I'll be streaming tomorrow. There is a big debate coming up on the Crucible tomorrow, and that is, it's going to be sort of a blood sports, sort of like, not really my forte, sort of like personal attack type stream. That's going to be Andrew Wilson and Owen Benjamin. So I'm staying out of it, basically. I don't really want to be part of it. Let those two gentlemen fight it out. Thank you. Good advice. Dongle Master says, I need to go for a walk. I noticed you weren't typing for a while there, Dongle Master. Playing with something, were you? As a Destiny fan. So it should be good. So given that, I don't know that I'll be streaming between, it's a 4-hour debate. It's supposed to be 8 to midnight. So I just don't know. I don't know if I will be able to stream tomorrow. So I may take the day off and just watch that debate. Hang out with the, there you go. See, that's the kind of troll I like. There's a shit talker. He's doing very well. He calls me fat and he's like, yeah, you're right. It took me a while to come up with it. Well, not too bad. I don't know. I think HN probably means well, but it's just like, he's so fucking partisan. Andrew, I have no inside information on this, but Andrew did mention on the extravaganza today that is why he set videos to private on his YouTube channel, to avoid sort of mass reporting, because he feels that the last time that they interacted that there was some mass reporting. Again, I take no stance on that. I don't fucking know. Not my business. So I don't know. You know, I'm usually more interested in researching sort of policy positions, things of that note. So this is not my wheelhouse, you know, debate about just, you're insulting my wife, you're insulting, you know, shit like that. It's like, I don't know. But it is what it is. So anyways, 20% of the way to the rest of our goal. Hopefully I'll be able to stream tomorrow. If not, I will be back Friday. Or Thursday. I'll be back Thursday. I will be doing the extravaganza as well Thursday. Again. Extravaganza! Yeah, we're going to raid Teriak, actually. Jay's bigger than me. I always try to, if possible, raid someone that I like that's a smaller streamer than me. So Teriak's on there. Now, we are what? We're less than $100. What are we, basically $70 away? $73 away? To getting our goal and beating this bastard Austin Hall. The bastard, not 2 days ago, saying it's unreasonable to get the 357. What does he know? See, Kronik gets it. I did go a little hard on HN there, though, didn't I? Yeah, the fuckhead. Oh, you let me call in. You sure about that? We let you off the hook, man. Thanks. The great level 4 lobster, probably working as we speak. The guy never gets a day off. $5. Stitch and Adam have their own HN. He called in today. His take puts your HN to shame. Plus, I love how the dark shirt for the show. You look more fit, right? It's more svelte. I had a different shirt on today. My wife said she could see the bottom of my stomach, so she made me change. Womp womp. Crucible Crusader, thank you so much for the gifted membership. Yeah, my wife's a great wife. She made smash burgers tonight with no bun. It was very good. Bring back the wiener shirt. $2,500 in one night. We'll bring back the wiener shirt. I found the bastard too. Rest in peace, Larkin. Fat guy in a tiny coat. What can you say? Is Courtney here? Oh. She did shrink the shirt in the wash. That's right. Yeah, I did get a good wife. Now listen, I know I was making a lot of jokes about like fat people and Hispanic people and black people and men and LGBT people and on the extravaganza. And yeah, that's sort of how I am in real life. Make jokes about anything, right? It's not traditionally my forte. But trying to keep up with Smokey Man and Mr. E there. But I had a lot of fun doing it. Not one step back, $5 is just doing my part. Thank you. Thank you so much. But I do hope that people aren't under the assumption that I don't view myself as a fat guy just because I was picking on other fat people. I do view myself as a fat guy. Or that I'm picking on people that are dumb. I do view myself. There are parts about me I'll acknowledge I'm kind of smart, but overall, I'm probably a dumb guy. At least average. In fact, there's some stuff that's pretty good about me, like intelligence-wise, like probably public speaking and debate and stuff like that. But then I make up for it for being way dumb at shit that the average person will be like, what a fucking idiot. So it evens out, Yeah, does this tie make me look fat? No, your face does. What's this? Just go on Ozempic. All right, James. 8 minutes left. 7 minutes left. Ah! Is this bastard Austin Hall going to win? My goodness. Medium size normal for America. There you go. How about it? What do you think, though, of all the new songs we created? There's a shitload. How many are there now? 22. 22 whip songs. $62. Look, someone donates $15 and then $50 for a whip wheel. We out of here. 120 IQ range. I don't know. I've never done an IQ test. No clue. No stream after the extravaganza. This is the stream after the extravaganza. The extravaganza happened from 5 to 6. Again, I got a company meeting, Crucible meeting. All employees there. Is my man Spiro in the chat? Let me know if Spiro is there. But yes, if you would like $50. Yeah, I know the colors suck on the wheel. Don't worry, Spiro's making me a little. There's Spiro. He's making me a new one. What's up, man? So I actually have exciting news. Now, I was going to wait until we got to our goal tonight to announce this, but you slacking bastard, this could be the greatest day of our lives, but you're going to let it be the worst. All right? Because you're not going to get us to our super chat goal. Tisk, tisk, tisk. That's one of my favorite lines in Animal House. Belushi's like, this could be the greatest day of our lives, but you're going to let it be the worst. Where's the spirit? Where's the guts? Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No! When the go gets tough? The tough get going! Now, so, James S. gets it. Let him go. I'm glad at least someone knows the movie. So, all right. Anyways. Yeah, Austin Hall's going to get a W. We're close. What is it, like 60? Well, I don't know. $63? It's all right, anyways. Austin Hall's going to win. I'm resound to the fact that's okay. So you guys have been incredibly generous to me. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is prioritize the money that I make and where is it going to go. The original goal of, oh, thank you so much, Gully. Always incredibly generous. $20. We're almost there. Thank you, Gully. Really appreciate it. The original goal of 357 was literally an amount that I assumed after YouTube took their cut would basically make me close to break even from the previous job that I had. And suffice to say, I've been doing considerably better than that, thanks to you all's incredible generosity. So I have certain priorities that I'm trying to do with excess money above and beyond what I thought would be the minimum to sort of continue to live, pay the bills, shit like that. I basically always live paycheck to paycheck. A lot of that has to do with family stuff, like, for example, paying off any debt that we have, cars, paying off mortgage ahead of time, things like that if I have excess money, putting money away for my son, which I think is very important. Oh my gosh, Brock Van Wagner, $50 says Austin Hall cannot win. Go! Thank you so much, you prick, Austin Hall. Take that. Man, what a Chad. Thank you. Another day, another defeat for the Austin Hall gentleman. So, to finish this thought, putting money away for my son and my wife, God forbid anything happened to me ever. Those are huge priorities that I have. Then you got your sort of rainy day fund, right? Whether it be like sort of, hey, some money to do some extra stuff with, or more likely when your car breaks down because you drive an old piece of shit car to fix it, etc. But one of the things I want to do with the money is put it back into the channel. Now that means several things. 3 things that I could basically do. 1, put it back into the channel in the sense of having real life events. Whether that be eventually a meetup for all the neurons around where I'm at, where we'll, make sure that it's a lot of fun. We have a block of hotels, transportation, food, drink, all that shit provided. That's number 1. In addition to going to events like I'm going to be going to Nashville and other places I may fly or drive out to in real life. So that's the one area of money I'm trying to put back in the channel. Second area is technology. So making sure that I'm always improving my microphones, my cameras, my computer technology, computer programs, things like the stupid ass AI thing that allows me to do whip songs, things like that, right? But the third thing is surrounding myself with people that I think will help build the community, help the channel, and help the community in general. And so I think that I have great people that are around right now. People like EOD, Are We Not Men, Black Elk, some of my other mods and whatever. Like, it's really, putting energy and communication into people like that, I think is very important. And so you guys have been so generous to me. One person that's been helping me out a lot behind the scenes with technology, with research type projects, all sorts of little things, in addition to just coming on and chatting all the time, is the great Spiro. And I talked to Spiro today, and we are going to be working together in an official capacity. So he is actually going to be joining the team here. And what that means is I think that you're going to see the quality, such as particularly my audio quality, hopefully within a week or two is going to immensely improve. In addition to some like sort of quality of things that you're going to see, like he's going to help me work with things so you don't see as many technological blunders and shit like that. And then we got some interesting projects that I talked about that I think he's uniquely, what the hell is that? A picnic basket? That he's uniquely capable of working with me with a couple things that's going to require some programming. But I think that it's going to be a tremendous project. And we're not going to announce that now. And hopefully that'll be something that will also be of use to the Crucible and the people around there. So when we have more details on that, we will definitely be releasing that. And I think it's something you all be very excited about. So happy to be working with Spiro, and I'm fucking super pumped to have him coming along working. So yeah, Spiro, I don't know what word I'm using though. We got the Neurons, we got the Norbiters, the Norsemen. Is that too much of a stretch? Yeah, Spiro. You're one of the best, man, and I really appreciate it. Stream Deck ordered today, my friend ML. And that was one of the first things I did. I was like, all right, Spiro, Here's the thing I'm thinking of ordering. Someone actually sent me a message, was like, here, this one. So I sent it to Spiro, said, this thing? He's like, yes, get that. Let me know when it comes to your house and I'll help you set it up. So I think that will, see, ML says, gay! But James D says, I like the Norseman. Yeah, well, Norseman, yeah. So, yeah, I think that it was ML that sent it. All right, there you go. Thank you. So, yeah. There you go. We go with Norseman. I'm sure my wife's downstairs rolling her eyes as we speak. So, thanks for coming along, Spiro. It is 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I got to go. So, here's the deal, everyone. We're going to be rating the Great Teriak. Don't hold his Irish heritage against him. He is a fantastic dude. Please, 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 please give him a sub, give him a like. Even if you don't have time to stick around and listen to him, you should. I think he puts on a great show. But please, please, please consider giving him a thumbs up and a like, if the bare minimum. I will be gone. You're just going to have to check your notifications if I have time to stream tomorrow. It depends on how my projects that I'm working on go. Thursday will be back to business as usual. Well, not quite. I'll be doing the extravaganza, and then I'll be streaming at some point later than that after the night. So next time you'll see me 100% for sure is 5 p.m. Eastern on the Crucible's Rumble channel for the Rumble exclusive extravaganza. It'll be my last day hosting for the short term, taking over for the great Jake Rattlesnake. Jake, you can be back. What do you think about that? You ready? Come back and do the extravaganza? Well said, Jake. Well said. So, all right, enjoyed this raid of Teriak. I'm off to do some work. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to my editor, Black Elk. Thank you to all the people on my team, the mods, Are We Not Men, Achilles, Zen's Forehead, and of course, EOD. Thank you to Spiro for joining the Norsemen. Yeah, I'm cool. That's not lame at all. Thank you to everyone that donated. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to HN even for calling in. It does bring content, and I know I was harsh on him. I think it's deserved, but maybe not. Maybe I'm too harsh. I don't know. What can I say? A little pissed off about that whole story with that guy killing that poor lady on the bus. So, but not to end on a downer, you guys are the best. Thank you for all the incredible support you give me. I hope that I continue to work on things in the background that you're going to see fruits of and that it'll make you all proud. I can't wait to do more. Can't wait to see you all again. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you all soon. As always, have a good one.